Consider that also on your positive side of the page there, or trucking it out, that we possibly would have the money now to truck it out and alleviate all the problems that's come up tonight and problems we would have to live with, maintain this mess. But if we could get that trucked out, we would definitely have money. We might not have money to take care of this later on. And I think that's a real big factor when we research this. So I think that we might turn this around if you think about that a little bit more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Anybody else in the public wish to be heard? Yes, sir.
Bob Medeiros, 4 Ledgewood Drive. No, I'm right. Ledgewood, New Jersey. To answer your question, the correlation between methane gas and trucking it out is if you leave it there and you put a liner over that garbage that's mixed material, the methane gas is going to accumulate 3 times this amount. It's dangerous. I've done 3 recycling plants in my career. Garbage is dangerous. It escapes through every crack, every manhole. It could get into the people's houses. It could get into the sewage systems. If you put a cover over it, it's going to accumulate there for God knows how much material and how much methane gas is going to come up. Methane gas is what they make natural gas out of. They use methane gas. Put a match to natural gas and find out what happens. Now, there's photographs, there's proof, documentation that there's batteries buried underneath the landfill. And I'll show you photographs of it. There's tires, there's all combustible material underneath that landfill. Why somebody stated there wasn't, I have no clue. But I have photographs, proof of it. I'll take you up there and I'll show you 100 tires that's up there and batteries. That's an explosive. So to bring my point across, if it's so dangerous to truck it out, the hazard of explosive material and somebody dying from explosive material in that landfill is on your hands. I send you documentation. I send you research that the EPA came up with on all the explosive material that's in there, that the potential of it being dangerous. Taking it out, you can take it out an 1/8 or a 1/16 of a time at a time. Do a little experiment. Get an 18-wheeler over there. Put a load on it. Put a cover over it. Truck it out. Pay for that. Matter of fact, I'll give you half the tipping fees. Well, I'll give you the whole tipping fees for an 18-wheeler truck if you do an experiment. Prove to the DEP that it's not going to work leaving it there, and it does work to truck it out. It's not going to get so contaminated. Gentlemen, I plead with you. I am tremendously concerned about somebody dying up there. And I want this put on the records. Young lady, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public wish to be heard? Yes, ma'am.
Maureen Castro, out of Summer Road Landing. Maybe I missed it. Was there a report from the Environmental Committee this evening?
Was there? No, I don't think so, no.
Okay, why I'm asking that is back in October, I asked formally, I requested that there be a Fenimore Landfill Ad Hoc Committee. You rejected the idea. Several members of the public also asked you for the same. What is the Environmental Committee doing? I mean, can you give us any details of what they're doing now as far as the ATSDR coming in? Did they have anything to do with this? I understand it was REACT who really brought it forward to the council's attention. Also, here is an ideal situation with them coming in, this federal agency, to have Bill Morocco, people from REACT, to be part of an ad hoc committee with the council and work together. So again, I'm asking you to please consider that. It would be ideal at this point to do that. And like an answer to the environmental.
I'll discuss with Marty and talk about getting a report from them, generally
Yeah,
speaking.
but typically in the past, as we told Maureen back when she came to the meeting, along with Linda Kane that night, is that the Environmental Commission is advisory. When the council asks the Environmental Commission for an answer on a specific question, we respond to council.
Right,
So
so
that's where
I'm
that
asking
is.
you, can you give us, I never hear anything, so what have you been doing with regards to Fenimore landfill? With the decision that was made, for instance, what was your recommendation, the environmental committee? Did you discuss it as a committee, the expert report, and give a recommendation?
It was discussed by a few members of the Environmental Commission, yes.
Right, and did you give a recommendation from the
The
committee?
Environmental Commission did not give a recommendation. I know one individual that I had spoken to at length about it, which I won't get into right now, because it's not an official report or anything like that, but yeah, I think that's what Marty's talking about.
But it wasn't an official report. Why? Why is, I thought the way it was explained, or the way I understood it, is that you play an active role at the commission in giving, sorting out the details, looking at everything, presenting research, coming up with research that the public has been coming up with, and then giving a recommendation. I would think, especially now for the expert report, that should have been an assignment for the commission to do so.
Mr. Riley had a discussion with somebody that's very familiar with that type of stuff, our chairperson, right, and she gave him some insight onto it, so.
Well, I would again ask that, we need more. We need much more, and there are people who are willing to work with the council on this. So again, please give that your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Castro.
And I just wanted to mention that, there's been viewpoints here, Mr. Hall, for one, about the dishonesty of our governor. So, it's very clear he's dictating what's happening here with the landfill. So if you have mistrust of the governor, why on earth would you ever trust the DEP and what they have presented to you and base your decision on an agency that's taking orders from a man who lies in the public about what is happening here in Roxbury?
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Castriata, and we took our advice from our professional, not the DEP. Anybody else in the public wish to be heard?
You're
Yes, ma'am.
very welcome, Mayor Riley.
I'm sorry, listen.
Melissa Datchison, 6 Justine. I just wanted to know, just clarification, what Amy was saying. The third time that you're going to Oprah the records to try and get what? What are we gonna try to do? Stack tests and what else? Anything else?
Well,
Any
they
soil
said they don't have soil samples, core samples.
Results from core samples.
What I suggested is they didn't take core samples. They had well diggings and analysis, they've said it on the record, so they have to have some kind of testing of some sort on something. So we're rearranging our Oprah request to request any samplings that may have been taken from wells or any other diggings that they've taken.
But here's the thing, this is how it works. If we're not specific enough, they'll respond back saying we're too general. If we're too specific, they'll say that doesn't meet the criteria for what they're looking for. So I want to make sure, Amy, what's been posted on the website at this time? Can you let me know?
The 76-page report, I believe.
Okay.
And
And that's on the stack test.
yes, the permanent stack test results and the temporary stack test results that they sent to me the other day, I believe.
So those are on the website.
Okay. Chris, can Attorney Bucco, word it in such a way
Well,
that it's not too
I'm
vague,
gonna
or
work with
Attorney
Mr. Bryce. We will do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do, because
Okay.
you have to be just right.
And then, thank you for that. And then Zelly, at the last meeting, it was interesting because he said there wasn't too much when he went on the site to be concerned about. They had brought their equipment, their oxygen masks or whatnot. They didn't need to wear them. It pretty much was what he thought was there was going to be there. But then I guess I get confused because then it seems like then the DEP tries to use that scare tactic that if they were to truck it out, like there'd be some major crisis that would happen affecting 30 municipalities. But our own experts went there and said, wow, it wasn't, to me, these are my words, but what it sounded like, paraphrasing, it wasn't that big of a deal. So like if it's not that big of a deal on one hand, but yet then the DEP is saying one thing, it's just very confusing. It just doesn't make sense. Does anybody agree, disagree? Or?
That's true, you're right.
Well, that's one thing I think the ATSDR will say, is what big a deal is it?
Okay.
So-
And then the health survey, Chris, I know the ASTDR.
Well, actually, Mr., and unfortunately, I told Mr. Caputo he could go home because I thought, but and he offered to stay, and I said, no, I don't think so. But the health survey, we got a proposal for a health survey on April 8th from Rutgers University. Mr. Caputo has been in conversations with Rutgers University and the county in regards to assisting us in that.
That's the ground level survey?
That's the ground level survey. Now, I will say this as well, too. It may be something that is reviewed by the agency as well, too, because although they don't do survey work, they may identify areas that require and should have survey work done.
In other words, their input could be vital in the approach to the site.
Correct.
That's how it's done. Okay. And then I'd just like to go on record saying if and when it's done, hopefully it will be done, that somehow 23 residents are notified via registered mail.
That's the same
23.
thing. It may not be
Sorry.
determined that all 23,000 people would be in that survey group. I don't know enough about it to tell you.
Okay.
But I understand
But I mean, if I send something to Mark Caputo and I live within 5 miles of it, maybe they look at that tag and say, hey, people in Sucasana
That's-
may need,
That's
since
a
it travels
really
to
valid
gases.
point.
Okay.
That's a valid point.
My last question is, now that you heard the tape where Christie is speaking, is giving misinformation, I'll be kind, about Roxbury in 30 years and decades, and, it's been an issue for that long. Does anybody plan on?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it again.
Okay.
I wrote down, just so you know that I was actually paying attention. I can't find it, but I wrote down, he said something along the lines of, past councils 30 years ago opened this, when actually that's not accurate. It was open long before that and closed 30 years ago. So I need to listen to the whole thing in context.
Okay, yeah, because he just made it seem like it's 30 years of stuff, when really it's the C&D stuff that's the toxic stuff over the
That's why I
past
want
2
to
years.
hear. And
Okay,
then hear the context, I don't know if he's implying something or misspoke or what have you. So I don't know, but, if it needs to be addressed, it needs to be addressed.
okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public wish to be heard? Ray Phillips.
Thank you. Okay, so I just heard that, so once you do review it, Jim, are you then going to approach the governor? I mean, are you guys going to make a statement? Because it's tough enough to sell your house in Roxbury, but I mean, after that, it's even worse. I mean, are you going to actually go up to the governor and say, what the hell? Why are you saying this about our community?
Well,
And have a press hearing.
I'll listen to the tape first and make sure, determine what was misspoken, and then I'll personally decide what course of action I would take, because I have no problem saying something, whether it's getting him clarification to address it, or again, it depends on the level. And I didn't hear the whole interview.
Sometimes you just have to, I know it's difficult when you're up there, but you have to say, what the hell? And stand up for the community as one. And realize, yeah, you're not going to make friends, I get it, in the political world, but you have to do this. Like when you said the judge ruled this, that, and the other, me personally, I would have been outside in front of that gate. And here's an opportunity now that you can say, hey, Governor, no way. You don't, you should come here now and address this issue. And I know you're looking at me, yeah, okay. But personally, you need to do this. Because then at least we'll have some faith. Because I don't. okay? Because I don't believe you did all you could. And, okay, well, who are you? Well, I don't know, but I know I would have.
No, I know you, Marie, and I've known you for a long time.
Right.
And again, we might not agree on everything, but there's been a lot done. There's been a lot of it you've seen, a lot of it's timeline right out there or on the website and other things. And Trenton, meaning the governor and all others, have been attempted to be contacted by many different levels. I've had conversations with many different people, and, you know,
So I got an idea, okay? You and I, and all of us, we take a day off from work, what the hell? We go down there, and we stand right out there, together.
yeah, I think that was attempted once before.
We've done
We
it
did
already.
that.
Yeah, it was,
And nobody was there.
well, we were there on that
No,
bus.
the people were there, but nobody from Trenton were there.
Oh, they were there.
that
We
day.
had the governor, someone come down. But the point is, if we all stand together as a community, instead of finger pointing and all that, you and I, Jim, we stand there and we say, hey, do something about this. I know I could get people, and we'll do it. So what do you think? You think it's worth it at least? Give it a shot? Please?
We'll talk about it, Marie.
All right.
Anybody else in the
Thank
public wish to
you.
be heard? I'm sorry.
Michelle Stone, 4 Irving Court. I'm just wondering, when the scrubber goes down for a lengthy period of time, since I live in Poets Peak, is it documented each and every time that it goes down and how long it's down for?
Actually, what we ask for is, I'd have to ask them if they do it every time, but I've asked them, when they have something like this, to give us advance notice when it goes down. It has been down a few times, and then we'll get an email saying, oh, it's down. But this was something that sounded like it was planned to go down, you know, that they were planning to do the work. So that's what we want to know in advance, so we're prepared.
Oh, yeah, because it just concerns me, because I'm right there, I'm really
I
close. This
understand.
time of year, I have my windows open, my kids are like outside, we're doing yard work, I jog around the neighborhood. You know, I'd like to know if it's down for a length of time.
Right. As would we.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Chris's email, and it's, you know, he jumped on pretty quick to give us advance notice. If they're gonna take it down. We
Is-
understand the break.
Is there any way then, when you find out, if you had a core list of people, like maybe residents in Poets Peak or people that really care,
Well, that's one
that
of
you
the-
could shoot it out to me and I'd know?
Well, that's one of the reasons we asked, is to let us know in advance. You know, if it's gonna be down for half an hour, by the time we get the information out. But if it's gonna be down for multiple hours, yeah, we wanna know so we can actually even send out, we have the Fenimore Alert Group. We can send it out to the Fenimore Alert Group. Tell them it's down.
Okay, all right, thanks.